Tally.so recently claimed that 10% of their new sign-up comes from ChatGPT and that ChatGPT has become their biggest revenue channel, their biggest acquisition channel. If you don't know Tally.so, it's a free online form builder that you can test. I'll talk a little bit more about this. So the number of leads coming from ChatGPT is enormous, and it proves how important it is to have a generative engine optimization strategy. As a marketing director, you're probably wondering, what did they do so well? What did Tally.so do so well to rank on ChatGPT? And this is exactly what you will learn in this video. I'll share with you a complete GEO, Generative Engine Optimization audit, to understand why Tally is killing it on ChatGPT. There'll be 3 parts in the video. The first part will analyze the traffic that Tally.so is getting thanks to ChatGPT with different techniques. The second part, I'll analyze the keywords for which Tally is ranking on ChatGPT with the different prompt. I'll share with you an analysis on how you can understand for your brand what are the prompts that are typed by your clients on ChatGPT. And in the last part, we'll analyze the sources, the backlink that are used by ChatGPT and other websites to create their answer. Let's start with the video and let's dive in. If you don't know me, I'm Luca. I'm the founder of Qwairy. Qwairy is an AI optimization tool, which means that we help you rank better on LLM by identifying the prompts that your users are typing on ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever other tool, and we give you a complete strategy to rank better on LLM. Let's talk about Tally.so. In this channel, we share every tip that we can find. I decided to do this video after a post from the co-founder of Tally, that is called Marie Martens. Tally, as I said, is an online free building form, and she claimed that recently they reached 3 million ARR, which is a lot. Congrats to them. And actually, she claimed that AI search has become their biggest acquisition channel. ChatGPT, Perplexity, and co are now driving the majority of our new sign-up. Congrats to them. And actually what we wanted to do is analyzing that. If you want, they wrote about the blog article. I'll put it in the comments. It's always interesting to read that. And I plan to invite Marie for a podcast, for our podcast Future of Search. So if you're interested, just comment so that I can be sure that this will be interesting. Anyway, let's continue the video and analyze first the traffic, and after that we'll deep dive a little bit more on how, for which keyword Tally is ranking at the moment. So let's, in this first part, analyze a little bit more what kind of traffic is Tally.so getting from LLMs and from ChatGPT. So just so you know, they get 9 million visits in the world. That's a lot. This data is coming from SimilarWeb. Obviously, I don't have access to the data from Tally directly, but that's still very interesting. And if we look at the referral website that are the most performing, it's ChatGPT that has become the first referral website for Tally with 10% traffic of all referrals that they get. And they get 19% referral in total. So that means out of 9 million people, that's about 2 million people referral, and 10% from these 2 million are coming from ChatGPT. So that's a lot. And actually they shared recently the number of leads that are coming from ChatGPT. Let me just find that. It's here. So here you can see that ChatGPT is bringing more than 3,000 leads basically per week. So that's the first thing. The thing now in the second part is that we wanted to analyze, because obviously what we are wondering is, for which keyword are they ranking so well? You know, what are people typing on LLM? What are people typing on ChatGPT? This is the question at Qwairy that we get the most. So the first thing we always do when we do an audit with Qwairy is analyzing the kind of keyword that historically people would type on a traditional search engine like Google. Because basically the problem we have with LLMs is that you don't have the same data that you have with a tool like SEMrush, Mangools, or Ahref, obviously because the market is so new. So what we do is starting with the old method and then transposing this method to Qwairy. So what we can see is that basically in the traditional search engine, this is data from Mangools, people will type online web form builder, form creator online, free form maker online, these kind of keywords. And from there, what we do is using Qwairy, and basically what we do is adding some keywords. So we can do it, I'll just clear the filter directly in here in the queries. We can add queries. I added queries before that so that we save a little time. But we could add a keyword like free form builder, hop, like this, and we go add up, and we could just generate queries. And here we will work with a little algorithm that will generate queries that people would type typically on LLMs. That's basically what we do. So that I did that in the past, but still here we have the proposition, like which no-code form builders allow for unlimited form and submissions without hidden fees, this kind of thing. What is the best free form builder, this kind of questions. So here I added, before we started, 5 keywords: form creator online, free form creator, Google form alternatives, JotForm, this is the competitor of Tally, alternative, online web form builder. And we have a dashboard at Qwairy, here, the performance dashboard, that really helps to have an opinion of how Tally is ranking. And we can see that from ChatGPT here. Basically, the brand mention on ChatGPT is very strong, and particularly it is strong for 2 keywords: free form creator and form creator online. You see, for free form creator, basically Tally is one of the most quoted websites here. Brand mention 70%, that's a lot. Google Form Alternative, a little bit less. There's a lot to do here, but I'll explain the strategy in the last part of the video. So basically what we see is that in terms of keyword, for free form creator, Tally is ranking very, very well. We can actually see the questions that we added here. So I added about 10, 14 questions. And here we can see, for example, for this question, what are the most user-friendly free form creators for new non-technical users? Here we have Gemini, Google Generative, and it's quoting Tally as a first answer. Same thing, here we can filter by GPT only. What are the most user-friendly free-form creator for a non-technical user? Actually, for this answer, Tally is not mentioned. So I'll teach you after that in the video, in the last part, how they can get mentioned in there. But still, which free-form creator is most recommended for startup and why? Here, Tally is quoted. Same thing here, which free-form creator offers the best integration with popular productivity tool? Tally is quoted here again. So I'll show you now how they did that. Basically, it's essentially thanks to the sources that are used by GPT, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's have a deeper look at what are the sources that ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, because in this case I use the 3 tools, the 3 provider. What are the sources that they are using? So here in Qwairy we have the list of all the sources and when they are used, because don't forget that in LLMs you have 2 ways of being present. It's not like Google where you have 10 links. Well, with AI overview it's changing, but still, in the case of ChatGPT you have 2 ways of being present. The first way is being mentioned as a source, and the second way is being mentioned as a brand. Like if someone asks, I need a free form creator online, what are the best options? Tally is the best option. That's how you get present as a brand. So there's one first thing that is really interesting in this case is that Tally is among the sources that are used the most. And we can see which URL are used. And actually they are quite smart because they build content like this, best free online form builders in 2025. And actually LLMs are using this information to quote Qwairy and obviously to quote Tally. And obviously Tally is mentioned as the first, as it's their content. It's not a big surprise, but still, and this works very well. And you see, it's the 3rd source, the most used in the global questions that we added. Same thing, they created other content like JotForm alternative. JotForm is one of the competitor, and that's where they are really, really present thanks to this. We could filter a little bit by the sources, like for example, if I want to see which sources are used by ChatGPT, by OpenAI, we see that Tally is still among the first here. So now, actually, if we look a little bit deeper, for me, there's one thing that Tally could improve, and this thing is being present a little bit more as a Google Form alternative, you see, because free-form creator, they are really present among the first and they are quoted by LLMs. But when you look at Google Form alternative, they are not quoted so much, and actually Jotform is the most quoted for that. So for this inquiry, we have a section that is called backlink opportunities, and this section will give you indication on where you should be present to get a little bit more presence. So for example, there's this page, Captera. So Captera is a competitor, and there's a page about Google Form, and same thing, there is this page up Google Form alternative, and let's see actually if Tally is there. I guess they are there, but let's do Command F, Tally. So you see in Captera, they are not understood as a Google Form alternative. So this is something they could really improve to be a little more present. They are already very present, but they could improve to be more present. And it's the same thing, Actually, the good thing on Qwairy is that you can analyze in there, and then you get a little more information on how you can be present on Captera. So here, we have all this backlink known as very high priority, and this is great opportunity for them. Same thing, I don't know if you remember, before I showed you that for the keyword free from creator, on ChatGPT, there were a couple of questions where they were not present, So I'm just doing the filter again, and there was this question: what are the most user-friendly free-form creators for non-technical users? And actually, they're not mentioned in there. And here we get the sources, the sources that were used by ChatGPT to do this answer. And if we look at Zapier, we see that here Tally is present, but it's the last one quoted. So before an LLM gets to there, it's tough. So maybe they could work with Zapier and get a little more presence in there. Same thing in G2. Let's check at G2 and check where Tally is present. Tally is not present in this article, and that's why they are not present. So they still have room to improve. And even though they have room to improve, they are already ranking very well, with AI search becoming their first acquisition channel. So this is the kind of things that you can do with Qwairy and how you can improve. And I just let you create your account. You have 100 credits for free. You can run your own analysis. And if you need, you can always book a chat with me, and talk soon. Bye-bye.